So I am starting off this video letting you know that I am in fact wearing shoes and pajama bottoms because this is just how I have grown to work these days. So I'm just going to start off this video by showing you the current city layout because everything has changed and I haven't showed it very much on the channel since the change. So I'm just starting off with that. I am filming on my phone because the bad boy camera that I usually film with is actually out of battery, so that's just... So, yes, I'm missing a bit of track here, but I'll get into that in a moment. It's just there, it's just moved out of the way. But yes, this is how the city is looking currently. It's a bit empty, there's not a lot going on. I'm starting a little Christmassy thing over here. I did have one for Halloween, but didn't really post it anywhere. But when I do the Christmas one, little Christmas, like, not a market, but just Christmassy scenes, you know, snowball fights and whatnot, that'll be there. These will all be moved. So this is just where I'm starting. So yeah, this is how the city's looking. I finally got this minifigure, as you may have seen on my Instagram if you follow me there. I finally got a Chief Wheeler minifigure. There we go. Pretty cool. So, looking around a bit more. There's my main photography camera. There's little bits and bobs there, including a hat. This is my cup of tea. And over here is my workstation, sort of. So there's my laptop, which is actually hooked up to this TV as a second screen to watch The Office. This is what I'm actually currently working on, but I'll get into that in a moment. That's old stuff. And there is trash. We'll just disregard completely all of that over there. So yeah, this is my little work table. This is my research book for uni. These are some heads. These are the stuff I'm working on to do with this bit over here, which I'll get into in a moment, like I said. But yeah, this is how the city's looking. This is what I've been up to. I've barely been out here in my Lego room for weeks now because I've been so flustered with uni work, and now the uni work is getting to the stage where I'm actually taking photos for it, which I'm going to talk about now. This right here is a little dumbed down version of a bigger kind of photo that I want to do. This is like a basic composition, but for uni this year, one of my projects, I have to use strategies and stuff. So the first one was image and text, and I decided to go for Lego, like do a Lego history spin. So I was recreating old images from certain decades for each strategy. So for image and text, I chose the 60s. So we have this one right here. This is just a photo of, meant to be JFK, holding a conference meeting or whatever. If I get this to focus, come on. So yeah, I've just put on a real headline. So I've actually taken that from a newspaper scan and put it on the photo. So that was the basic concept there for image and text. If we try and move along here. So we have Men Walk on Moon, obviously to do with the very famous moon landing, first ever moon landing. And lastly, we have Charles Manson being arrested. So that was what my idea was for doing that strategy. The next one I'm doing right now is image as object, and I've decided to choose the 1940s because I've done a load of images before with World War II. Now, I have to say, this isn't the most like creative photo setup in the world. It's not like a mad good photo, and I know it's not going to be an amazing photo. This is just the start of my work, so I'm allowed to have like rough images that I'll then take into consideration and change things up based on the feedback that I receive. So I'm not going all out for this image, although I probably should realistically, but just for now I'm doing this. I do have better ideas for different photos, so this is more just content to put into my book. So this is how I do the setup. So I have this little light box with the background and, you know, the things that are happening all tethered into this little thingy. This is just a, what do you call these things, USB hub. So simple as that. Bunch of wires and stuff going on down there. Then I have my camera. I'm currently shooting, well, as you can see in this frame that I took, I'm shooting at 1/20th of a second, aperture is at 7.1, and I think my ISO is at 540. Let's actually check that. You can see me there. Hello. Yeah. Oh, 640. Sorry. Apologies. Hello. So yeah, this is the photo I took yesterday without all of the grassy bits. It just feels very empty. And then another thing I noticed was there's no depth to the photo. I think it's because all of the subjects, all of the people, are quite close to that background. So I've retaken it. I've moved them all slightly forward to add a bit more depth. And I think, ouch, as I back into something, it's pretty similar, but I can myself see the difference. Obviously, this isn't a great way to show it because I'm showing you a photo through video. But yeah, this is basically what I'm up to. I have now moved on to my second image of the day. Hopefully this might be the last one for today, and then I'll do more tomorrow. I mean, I've only done 2, but I need either 3 or 5 images. But if we look at it here, it looks a bit daft considering, but with clever framing and a bit of Photoshop, I should be able to make it look okay. The image will be in black and white, so that also helps for all those weird green colours going on there. So this is the image I'm recreating. It's a very famous World War II image of a Wehrmacht soldier throwing a Stahl grenade or Stahl grenade. I'm not going to pretend I know how to say that. It's a stick grenade in English. So this is the photo I'm recreating, and hopefully I can do some magic with this and make it look... Well, it's the charm of these images is they're meant to look like Lego, okay? So it's not meant to be a perfect recreation where everything looks, you know, identical. It is meant to be realism, but Lego realism. So yeah, it's a bit complicated to explain, but that's what I'm going for. I'm not very good at posing minifigures when you take their arms off and put their arms in different positions. Normally I have them in the, you know, the legal building technique of putting the arms in position. So I have the camera ready to go to shoot this image. Just what I gotta do now is go over here and pick out a little bit of this. And maybe I'll even throw in, I keep driving them everywhere. Maybe I'll throw in some of these too, just for filler around the framing. So, okay. Literally just gonna drizzle them around the place. Hopefully not wreck anything. So I'm gonna put it over this guy's body. I might need tweezers again for the more specifically planted ones. That one landed perfectly for me. That's amazing. And then just throw these in randomly around the frame, especially in front of that gun. That's good for me. So try and get that in focus. It doesn't look too bad. Obviously the framing is going to be different because this is quite wide. I'm going to zoom in a bit, so we'll see how that goes. Not that far. I have taken the picture and I can see exactly where I need to fix this guy, because you can see the neck piece of the minifigure just there. I need that to be fixed. Also, his head isn't in the right orientation. Other than that, I'm very happy with this guy. Obviously he's the main focus. You can see the white tack and stuff there on his arms. I will be photoshopping that out and hopefully making it look clean. And then of course all this, instead of it being white, just like in this image, it does be white up here for the sky, but I want this in the background, so I will darken that a bit using an adjustment brush. But other than that, quite happy with how this is turning out so far. Again, just got to fix this guy on the left and we'll be one step closer to finishing. So once again, I'm ready to shoot and I'm going to do just that. Now let's see if the photo is looking better now. So zoom in a little bit, bring it down. Okay, so yes, he's looking much more convincing. I think I need to turn his gun a little bit, his rifle. It's pointing... Actually, I'm looking at the original image. I think it's fine. Again, happy with the stick grenade thrower. I think I just need to change the aperture because this is quite, you know, he's completely lost. He's not in focus at all. So I've made a few more adjustments to the composition, just again slightly moving the gun, moving the guy who's lying down. The guy with the stick grenade has not changed because I'm very happy with that. And my image looks like this. So here we are, we have the final image just printed on my home printer, like nothing special. It's just a nice test to look at it, especially with the black and white, because looking at a screen for so long, yes, I'm watching The Office again, of course, but sometimes when you're editing photos, looking at them for such a long period of time while editing can become very, like, it clouds your judgment on how the photo looks. So sometimes getting a printed physical version really, really helps with making a decision on if it's ready or not. And it's also really good for inspecting. You know, like I'm looking here, I'm thinking this looks okay. This is where I've edited out the white tech. This arm is starting to get a bit lost, but I think it's okay. I'm not exactly sure why it's disappearing into the background, but I'm not too worried about it at all. I can see that this guy looks okay. He's not like super sharp and focused quite like the main subject, but you know, it's enough to make out his facial expression and what he's doing. The background is completely blurred, which is of course what I wanted. It adds the nice depth to the image. It doesn't make that feel like it's right up behind them. It does kind of look like it's a bit pushed off to the end, or pushed off behind them rather. So very happy with that. And there's the final image. So that is all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this little insight into how I shoot my Lego photography images, please be sure to let me know in the comments below. Actually, that'll be pretty cool. And if you want to continue seeing videos just like this and whatever else is on my channel, you can hit subscribe. That would be cool. So unfortunately for me, I have to go and start writing about the process of this, even though I've recorded the whole process, but for my research book I have to write about it. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. This has been Thea, and I will see you in my next video.